Hi guys, Dale Malik here with Watch to Wear. Thank you for joining me today. So it's Sunday, October 14th, 2018, and the weather's finally turned. It's getting cold out, the leaves are falling. Boy, it looks like summer's finally behind us and old man winter's just ahead. But that is life. So before we get started with today's video, just a couple things. First of all, the website's coming along very nicely. We're making some excellent progress. We're right on track and we plan on launching it here relatively soon. We're testing things out as we go and I'm very excited. The second thing is, I got a few different emails here recently asking me if I'm the same Dale Malik from Buyers Imports TV, and that is me. I am the same Dale Malik from Buyers Imports TV. In case you guys do not know, Buyers Imports TV is a YouTube channel that I created back in 2010, and what we do is we do real walk-around videos for high-end sports cars, mainly Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis, Jaguars, exotic cars along those lines. I do not work for Buyers Imports. I actually have my own software company called Auto Lot Manager. We specialize in inventory management solutions for the car business. And I kind of wanted to utilize my experience with inventory management solutions for the car business and kind of like morph that over into the watch business. Not a watch dealer, just a watch collector, maybe like a lot of you guys out there. I love them. I started buying them when I was a little kid. My motto is anytime I did something really, really special when I was a little kid, if I got a good grade on a test, I would save up my money and go to the mall and buy a little Citizen's watch or a Pulsar or really cool watches like that. And I actually still have many of the same watches that I did when I was 10 years old. Threw some batteries in them and they work out great. But anyway, when I first got involved with my company, Auto Lot Manager, the car industry was very archaic. It never really embraced technology. And I see a lot of same parallels with the watch industry. As you know, if you watch previous videos, I go to a lot of these NAWCC shows a lot, and I have to tell you, they're very archaic. There's no technology there. Most of the people that sell at these marts don't even know what the internet is. It's really amazing. They don't accept credit cards, any type of payment other than cash. So it's a very archaic industry. And I thought to myself, there's got to be a solution that I can do like I did for the car business that I can do for the watch business. And that's kind of like how I came up with Watch to Wear. As you will see when the Watch to Wear goes live, it's going to have a lot of different parallels that I utilize with some software applications that I did for the car business. We're going to be using here for my watch business, Watch to Wear. But anyway, I digress. So today's video is going to be carrying on the same theme that I did for the last couple weeks. 2 weeks ago, I showed you some different processes that I use when purchasing vintage watches. Last week, I showed you some different websites that I frequently visit when I purchase vintage watches. So this week, I'm going to carry on that theme. I'm going to show you really just one site in particular that I go to. Not on a regular basis, as you will see, but it's a pretty cool website. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so the website we're going to talk about, it's called Watches of Knightsbridge. It's actually a live auction. It's Watches of Knightsbridge Auctioneers. So it's a live auction that takes place a few times a year. It's in England, so there is a time difference that you need to recognize when you want to be part of it. It's usually on a Saturday, mainly on a Saturday, I do believe. The next auction right here is coming up November 3rd, 2018. And if you want to, you can actually look at previous auctions right here, going back to 2012. You can click on any of these big pictures here. This will actually take you to the catalogs that they have. So for example, this was the auction here in June 30th of this year. You can look at the PDF version or you can look at the online version. So when you first get right here, this is these are the different watches that came up for the auction. Everything's in alphabetical order. Not the best website from my perspective. I find it somewhat challenging to navigate in. I don't necessarily like these hidden frames that they have, but they always have quite a bit of Breitling watches. So you can see some of the Breitlings here that took place at the previous auction. They always have a lot of Breitlings. They have quite a bit of Rolexes and tons of Amigas, tons of them. A lot of Navi timers you'll see. You'll generally see some top times too as well. But very, very cool. You can click on the actual watch itself or the link, and they will give you like the closing bid. So this watch here sold for 3,200 pounds. So you can do the translation into the currency translation in the US dollars. So now I will say this, that they don't really give you a lot of detailed pictures. If you can find 2 pictures, that's pretty darn good. Most of the listings that I have seen have only been 1 picture. The description is fairly good, but like I said, you really just got to be careful, and you got to know what you're doing. So you really need to, if you're interested in one, especially like a Breitling or Amiga or Rolex, take the pictures and throw them up on the Amiga forums or the various forums and have some of the skilled members take a look at them, because you really got to be careful, especially like with the dial, excuse me, the hands. You want to make sure that they're going to be they're going to be legit and you're not getting a bad watch. I've heard of people that purchase watches from here. They got, not taken, but they didn't do their due diligence, and they got some fakes, and as a result, and you lose a lot of money because it's not cheap. You know, you have to pay, not obviously the closing bid, but there is a premium too on top of it. It's 20%. And if you live in Europe, you're going to pay an additional 4% VAT. A VAT is a value-added tax. So when you first get into the website, you're going to have to register, and when you register, depending on who you are, I guess, you may need to supply them with a photo ID in addition to a credit card, because that's how you're gonna pay for it on a credit card. But it's a very interesting site. If you've never been on one before, I suggest taking a look at it. Everything's done in alphabetical order, so it's always on a Saturday like we said. But anyway, just a very, very cool site. I downloaded already the catalog for the upcoming auction here on November 3rd. And you can download them as a PDF file, or if you want, like I said, you can go back there and look at them online. But you get some very, very nice pictures. You get your description here in the catalog, which is practically, let's go back here. I'm going to go back here real quick and go back to our catalogs. Thinking. So this is the catalog I downloaded, the PDF. It's the auction coming up here on November 3rd. Let's take a look at the online version, just to show you. Let's go to these Breitlings here, since we were looking at them there, so you can see some of the Breitlings that we were looking at. There's one there. So the auction's on, it'll tell you the time, GMT 11. So you got to recognize the time difference there. But as you can see, you only get a few different pictures for these watches. You don't get a lot. Now I will tell you, they're very, very big pictures though, so you can really zoom in and look at it. But like I said, I would highly suggest taking these photos and posting them on the various forums to do it, just to make sure they're legit. But when you go here, you can always bid on, you can do like a, not a reserve bid, but do a max bid. So for example, if you wanted to bid 4,000 pounds, it'll bid up to that amount. Obviously, if it exceeds that amount, you're not going to get it just by placing a max bid, almost like an eBay secondary auction type scenario. I did it for a couple different watches. I did not win. I just didn't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to purchase a couple Breitlings. And obviously I didn't win, and I kind of like knew what I wanted to spend. But just a very, very cool site. You can download the thing, download the catalog at your leisure, look at it. Very interesting. I would highly suggest, if you've never done one before, check it out. It's very cool. They got some awesome looking watches, as you can see. Just download the PDF and funnel through it. I love that Breitling right there. Look how beautiful that one is. Now I would say this one here is pretty legit, but if you're interested in any of these watches, just post them on the forums. People are very engaged and they'll help you out. So this one, the estimated bid is going to be anywhere between 1,800 to 2,200 pounds. Like I said, you're going to have to figure out the currency, how it translates into dollars. Figure that out. But it's a circa 1969 reference 814 with a panda dial. That is absolutely stunning, beautiful. You gotta love those hands, right? If you get a Mac, you can zoom in pretty nicely on your Mac. But anyway, very cool website. Here's a top time coming up with a panda dial. That's very nice too. I like that one. And look at that. You can just page through these all day. Some Doxas. They do have quite a bit of Rolexes. If you go to the online version, you could actually filter your searches too. Go back up here. So if you want to get rid of the Breitling, and let's go down here and try to find some Rolexes. There's our Rolexes. Here we go. There's going to be 80 Rolexes up for auction. As you can see, this is lot 236, so this is not going to be first thing in the morning. Like I said, it's done in alphabetical order. If you want to, you can just add it to your watch list there too as well. If you want to bid on it, you can obviously bid on it right there. This is where you're going to do your bidding. But it's a very nice looking Explorer. 2,500 to 3,000, that's what they're going to estimate it to go for. Obviously, a lot of times, depending on the watch, I've seen some beautiful old chronographs, some pandas. I remember, I think it was a Zodiac thing sold for $6,000. It was estimated at 3,500. So, like I said, if you're interested in one of these, check it out. It's a very interesting thing. You can actually see the live simulcast. It's pretty fun to do. But anyway, that's it for today's video. I just wanted to show you another website that I use. It's pretty fun. I think you guys will have a lot of enjoyment doing it. Even if you just want to look at the pictures of the watches, they're absolutely beautiful. But anyway, it's called Watches. Did I say that? Watches of Knightsbridge. Anyway, thanks for watching today's video. Hopefully it wasn't as long as my last one. Boy, that thing was really long. I have a tendency to get somewhat winded. But make sure and check us out on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. And in closing, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Google and YouTube have changed their algorithms, so if you give me a thumbs up, it'll really help out the channel grow. And I would really appreciate that. But anyway, in closing, guys, make sure that you will always have a watch to wear